Are they going to put 7-Up in it? I'm not going to have a Mai Tai if they're putting 7-Up in it.
Aloha, folks. Welcome back to Spike's Breezeway Cocktail Hour. We do have another guest tonight. Well, let me bring him on, and then we can discuss kind of where we met and all that kind of stuff, and how he relates to Tiki. So, my good buddy Mike Rouse, please come on. Come on to the show.
Thanks for that introduction, Matt.
I was saying we've known each other for about, I think, 20 years.
I tried to remember the first time and you corrected me. I'd like to hear the story.
Okay, I think
because that wasn't the first time.
I think the first time that you and I met, I was still in college and I was working for Kika, and you were doing Original Sinners t-shirts for Zine.
That would have been 2002, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. 2002. So what does that make us?
18 years.
Oh. Mike has a storied career in punk rock, apparel printing, and all kinds of stuff. If you want to run it down just real quick.
I'm a kid of Orange County. Mm-hmm. I ended up working at a tooling shop that happened to be next door to a motorcycle tuner, and then I ended up doing supercross racing for 10 years, and then in action sports with skateboarding and
snowboarding too, right?
Snowboarding, right? Yeah, in the 90s. Music kind of was the thread through all of it. I played music in clubs and parties in high school, so I was always in bands while I was doing all these other things, and ended up managing X accidentally, and that's been around for 22 years and over 1,500 shows.
1,500 shows?
Over 1,500 shows.
So Mike has been kind enough to hire me as, I guess, the graphic designer for X, designing everything from 45 record covers to t-shirts to posters to drum heads to photographing the band.
Yep.
And it is quite an honor because it is absolutely one of my favorite bands. But you said the same thing about the band. You said that it was one of your favorite bands too.
Yeah, it was. I was a kid in the front row. I think my first X show was late 79 or early 80. A friend's older brother took us up to LA and caught him at the Starwood.
Unbelievable. That's so cool. And then you were playing punk rock, right, at places like the Galaxy for years?
Yeah. Galaxy, Doll Hut, Club Mesa, Tiki Bar.
Mm-hmm.
No relation to Tiki, but the name.
Not hardly.
And had some variants into some rockabilly and some other stuff.
Uh-huh.
Punk was dead in 1980.
But then you went on to manage or become a partner in or something, the Doll Hut.
Yeah, I was partners with Linda, and we promoted shows at several different venues.
And the Doll Hut.
And that was while I was playing in bands.
Yeah. And that was the Bleeders.
Well, the Bleeders or Fuel or the Adolescents or the Ads rather. Sorry, slip of the tongue.
A lot of really rad punk rock bands he was in. And then the Doll Hut. If you're not familiar with the Doll Hut had everybody from Brian Setzer show up by himself just with the guitar to play, to Mike Ness and Social Distortion and No Doubt and The Offspring and
Bad Religion,
the Super Suckers. Kind of everybody out of Orange County.
Yeah, Chris Isaac even went through there.
Wow. And in our world, the Tiki Tones and Ape and a million surf bands. And yeah, it was a good time. And then you went on to manage the Galaxy, too, which is now the Observatory.
Yeah, I did the Galaxy, 99 to about 2002.
Mm-hmm. And then you put on one of the
best, worst festivals ever. One of the best,
worst festivals ever. So that was your foray into promoting a festival for the first time? Well, on your own, I guess you would say?
Yeah, well, I had done a show to promote my snowboard brand in Las Vegas at the Hunt Ridge, and was more successful at the festival than I was at the snowboard brand. So, you do the math. And yes, the show was the Blood Drive, and that was X, the Misfits, and the Damned on Halloween weekend.
Jeez.
And we had 75 Hearst at the show. We had the Super Suckers, we had Throw Rag in its original form. My band, the Bleeders, was on it, but it rained. People don't do rain in Southern California, and so we lost our shorts, but it was a great show.
Jeez, that's such a bummer. What an incredible lineup.
I've tour managed the famous Hula Girls.
It's true. There was one tour that we went up to Northern California, and well, actually, over the years, Mike had been a big help with the Hula Girls, getting us on shows. With the Knitters and with Dave Alvin and kind of like the Blasters X Los Lobos family. We played the Bang Fest, which was just one of the best lineups of all time that Mike was.
That was my festival.
Basically, responsible for. And who were the bands on that? That was like Junior Brown and.
Yeah, it was
X the Buzzcocks, Reverend
the Knitters. It was
Lee Rocker,
the Alvin Brothers. Wasn't the Blasters. Jamie James and the King Bees. You know, it was just everybody that was a part of the roots scene from late 70s LA all the way up till now. There was current people and past people we didn't even know were still performing. We managed to dig them up.
Yeah, especially like Jamie James or whatever, huh?
Yeah, and Jamie James was awesome.
Yeah, I know.
He was great.
That was a good show. There's a Barky Min pin out there. Oh, I guess the first time that we really met, though, one of my old bosses from Rusty Surfwear, Rick Lohr, invited me to a Social Distortion show, and it's because he had connections through you, and that was the first time we actually really got to know each other. Was at what's that restaurant in downtown Disney?
I don't know. It was like a,
Jazz Kitchen.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
New Orleans Kitchen, and we had dinner there before the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we've seen a bunch of Social Distortion shows since then, and
Not on purpose.
oh jeez.
No, I'm kidding.
And a million, I can't count how many X shows I've been to or seen or done posters for, or
Sat in the dressing room drinking our beer.
I want to bring Mike on to make a cocktail because, first of all, I thought that story about him was really interesting, but also because he has dabbled in the tiki world, as we said before, kind of managing a road trip, little mini tour with us up to Northern California, where our bass player, what was the name of that tiki bar? The Bamboo Hut?
Yeah, that was the one over in Chinatown, wasn't it?
Is that Chinatown?
It was
It's kind of where all the strip
where
clubs
Blag
are.
showed up.
Yeah, Black from the Dwarves showed up, and then Zandor from the Swank Bastards showed up there.
Yes.
But our bass player at the time was new to tiki drinks. He wanted to drink everything on the menu
He didn't make it.
before we played.
He didn't make either one of them well. He didn't do well at either one of them.
I have a bunch of Trader Vic's cocktail books now. I want to make one of the most, I guess, legendary. It's not a Trader Vic drink, actually, but he had his version of it. One of the most legendary tiki cocktails, the Dr. Funk. And I usually try to relate the cocktail to my guest.
Who's old?
Maybe that's the connection.
Yeah, that's
not
the
as old as
connection.
this drink, but
That was this drink.
Dr. Funk, I was gonna hold it out for who's the dude with the sunglasses and the bass?
Bootsy Collins.
Yeah, I was gonna hold out on the Dr. Funk for Bootsy Collins, but you also play bass. Maybe that's the connection.
Yeah,
Oh, see, I
that's right.
intertwined it there.
Look at him spinning the yarn.
Yep. Trader Vic decided that he was going to change the recipe of the Dr. Funk from here to here. The book down below is the absolutely incredible Smuggler's Cove book from our buddy Martin Kate, which if you don't have this, for God's sakes, go buy this. This is the best cocktail book you can buy. All of Beach Rum Berry stuff is great too. I highly recommend all of that, but
I don't know about the book, but I can vouch for the drinks.
See? Before we did this, I had Mike do a little bit of research on the Dr. Funk also, and you were telling me about a lineage of doctor cocktails.
Yeah, so there's a Dr. cocktail that is pre-Prohibition. It goes back, first time it was published in 1917, and there's infinite varieties, and they cite all the different books, 1922, 1930 something, 1940 something, blah. It's printed a million times. Basically, it's a punch with some sort of citrus, and that's all it is.
Yeah.
But as it goes forward, the variants start getting more interesting. And that's what we're here to drink, is the interesting ones, not the ones that maybe didn't even have rum in them.
And even as you see Trader Vic went through ideations too. Ideations?
Idiot, you got me. You're close.
One of the things that's interesting about the Dr. Funk is the first tiki version of it was, well, I can't say tiki version because tiki kind of came later, but 1922, I believe, is what Martin Kate said in the book. It was the first cocktail that was truly from the South Seas.
I saw one from Samoa.
Yeah.
And it was named after a doctor in Samoa, is how it got Dr. Funk.
Right.
Right.
Because he was curing Samoans of some kind of
Probably scurvy.
scurvy or some kind of island
You
disease.
eat fish and taro, you're not getting a lot of your other nutrients like vitamin C.
Yeah, totally. I've always been scared of this cocktail because I don't like the funky taste in tiki drinks. I really don't like Pernod that much. And we're gonna try a brand new rum called Dr. Bird. It's supposed to be good in Dr. Funk, but we're gonna try that. And I've had that at the Blind Rabbit. I had an opinion about it, but I do have a couple glasses here that Mike and I are gonna just try a little sip of it and give our honest opinion, because it's kind of like the hot, like
The rum de jour.
It's the rum de jour. What is the rum de jour?
Rum of the day.
I'll have that.
de jour.
That sounds
Yeah.
delicious. So anyway, I do have my my Trader Vic's cocktail menu from, I think this might be the 70s, judging by like the prices, it might be the 70s or 80s. It does have the Dr. Funk in it, and I always like the way that Trader Vic wrote his things here. It says a truly tropical drink originating in Papeete. Papeete?
Yeah.
It's in Tahiti.
If you say so.
And redolent of French rums and Pernod. The other notable thing about this cocktail is that there were so many variations of it, just like the Mai Tai and the Zombie that we talked about last week. No, it wasn't last week, the week before. Everybody had their version of the Zombie or the Mai Tai. And so at the different restaurants, they'd call it the Dr. Funk, Mr. Funk, Dr. Wong, Mr. Wong, all kinds of variations that were really just basically the same thing or the same idea, even though they all changed the recipes around. So today we're gonna make the cocktail out of this one. It just kind of looks a little bit better. It's way more similar to the one that Smuggler's Cove makes, who is not gonna trust Martin Cate with his opinion about cocktails. So usually I like the earlier ones better. Today we're doing this one. Also, look at this picture of Trader Vic.
That dude can party. Look at the black swingers thing. He's got the black silky turtleneck on with the blazer and chains around the outside of the turtleneck.
That's a rad look.
That's a very swinging look.
Before we do anything, we're gonna try the Dr. Bird, because I want to see Mike's opinion of this
He
rum.
wants me to make a funny face.
I think Mick Biff said something about how I'm a rum connoisseur, and I was like, what are you talking about? I'm not a rum connoisseur. And he's like, well, that's all you do is drink rum. And it's, yeah. I mean, I do drink a lot of rum, but I don't know hardly anything about rum. So all I can do is give you my honest opinion. Mike will give you his honest opinion. Smell that thing.
Hardly any lighter fluid.
Yeah. It doesn't smell like Bacardi, right?
No, not at all.
Is that too much?
Yeah, that's a pour, buddy.
All right. Well, we don't have to drink the whole thing.
Yeah, we do.
All right. Cheers. All right. So it's fragrant. How do you?
It has a nose, but there's something else going on. It isn't just the heat of the booze. There's some depth in it, and it's, I don't know, not quite floral, but it's something.
Yeah. It's almost like leather.
Yeah.
Like a nice leather.
Yeah.
All right. You want to
Yeah.
taste it?
Yeah.
All right. It stings the nostrils.
Oh, it has a heat to it for sure.
Oh yeah, you get it right down in here.
Yeah, right in the breastplate there, and yeah. You do get it in the nostril, and it'll make your lips and tongue tingle too.
Oh, it's still going. Wow, Dr. Bird is a jerk. Oh.
All right, 151's got nothing on that.
All right, let's make Dr. Funk.
It's got more flavor. I'm not saying it's got no flavor. I'm saying it's got some zing in it.
Yeah, that's a fiery one. Oh, man. So my opinion of that rum, when I was given a taster of it at Blind Rabbit, was not interested. I didn't think I liked it at all. I can see where it would be appropriate.
Better in cocktails, not by itself. Not a sipping rum.
Yeah, unless you're just like a super rum guy. I think then maybe it is. I don't know.
How's an amber? Joey, you see the barrel coming off of it?
Is that a thing?
I don't know.
Well, we need to cut some lemons and some limes. So you want to slice a couple of those? So for this cocktail, we will be using lemons, limes, soda water, Pernod, simple syrup, and grenadine. Right here. I like the small hands grenadine. And we're going to be using this pot still dark Jamaican rum, Dr. Bird. Okay, so for this cocktail, we're going to need half an ounce of lime juice. I've heard mixed things about doing that, rolling the lime out. Mm-hmm. I've heard from some people that it doesn't do anything.
Well, it breaks the cells. That absolutely happens.
I think people have done squeezing tests.
But it may not make a difference. If you squeeze well, you're getting it all. It just makes it easier to come out.
Where's the squeezer? Oh, you gonna get it?
I guess I will.
See, this is way better.
Can you put it-
All right, they're still wet from me rinsing them off, but. So the cocktail calls for ½ ounce each. So we're gonna pour 1 ounce into the mixing cup, and then a lemon.
So do you agree with the rolling it out?
The rolling the fruit out thing.
You don't care. Do
I
you
don't
do
know.
it?
I don't do it anymore because after I read that thing, I was like, I don't know if I'm wasting my time here.
You believe everything on the internet?
Depends on the source. We need 1 ounce of lemon juice. So ½ ounce per cocktail, 1 ounce for 2. Oh, this dog. He's got a rat or something over there.
There you go, dude.
All right.
1 ounce of lemon juice.
So we're gonna do a 1/4 ounce per cocktail of grenadine, and then so it'll be a ½ ounce.
See a ½ ounce in there, dude. Well, you've worn it out. You make so many cocktails. You've worn out your. I'm not kidding.
I know.
Like all the lines are gone.
Perfect. Ta-da! All right, so we have a bit of a red color now to the Dr. Funk, and then let's do the simple syrup. We're gonna do ½ ounce per cocktail, so 1 ounce of simple syrup. Yeah, Dr. Funk. I can't believe we're making a Dr. Funk right now.
It's a bad joke. You watch.
Is it?
I don't know.
Bad joke was the Bootsy Collins.
Yes, that was a bad joke.
1/4 ounce of Pernod. That'll be a ½ ounce of Pernod. Ooh.
There's a little bit much in there. Dump this.
Do you want to put
I'll put it right here.
fireworks? Pernod's a tricky thing because it smells like, what does that smell like? to you?
Licorice.
Licorice, yeah. And so this stuff will overwhelm a cocktail like you wouldn't believe. It is super potent, and I kind of can't stand the flavor.
Black licorice off his list.
Ugh. All right.
Well, you know, the original recipe was 2/3 rum, 1/3 citrus.
Yeah, like the early recipes,
Yeah.
right? So 2 1/4 ounce of your favorite Dr. Bird, or my favorite.
Your favorite.
So what is that? 2 1/4, 5.5 ounces of rum.
Yeah, what do we got?
So 2 is that top line there.
Here's 2. 4. Half.
That's so much Dr. Bird, and that's so much Pernod.
He suffers for this, guys. He suffers for this.
Okay, so what we're gonna do next is ice. We're gonna shake it, and then we're gonna stir in the seltzer or the soda water, because you don't want to be shaking soda water. Well, guess what happens? All right, we're gonna put some ice into the tin, and then we're gonna give it a shake. But while I'm doing that, Mike told me a story that he played ping pong one time with Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam.
Yep.
I was telling my ex-girlfriend about that, and she's like, Pearl Jam's lame. And I was like, okay, I know that you're like 26. Pearl Jam doesn't mean anything to her now, but Pearl Jam, when we were younger, was the biggest thing in the whole world.
They're still pretty large.
You guys were touring with Pearl Jam in
We did shows with them in 98.
and this is X with Pearl Jam.
Yeah, X and Pearl Jam in 98. We did 3 arenas with them. We did Thomas and Mack Arena. We did 2 nights at the Forum, and we did the Arco Arena in Sacramento. And then 2011, we did South America with them, which we were playing soccer stadiums. The first one was Sao Paulo. That was 2 nights at 90,000 people a night.
90,000 people.
It's 180,000 paid attendance, sold out.
When I was talking to my ex-girlfriend about it, she was like, well, who cares, Eddie Vedder, whatever. And I was like, I don't think you understand what a gigantic band Pearl Jam is.
Kind of a voice of a generation.
Totally a voice of a generation. Almost a Nirvana thing. It was the same kind of time. It was the same time, really.
It was the same time. Yeah.
And I was never really a big Pearl Jam guy. I didn't really like Nirvana. I wasn't a grunge guy, but I do recognize how impactful they were. And for Mike to be playing ping pong with the lead singer of a guy who regularly
They're
plays to
people and
90,000 person stadiums. What?
It's a nice guy. He likes ping pong.
All right, so we're gonna pour this into the ice-filled tin. We're gonna give it a smack, and then I will let you do the shaking honors.
Because I'm Tom Cruise?
It's a stupid joke.
How much are you gonna shake it, buddy?
Keep going.
Bastard.
That's good. So I've said in the past, like, I don't know how my bartender friends do that all
night
night.
long. Yeah, for
like,
sure.
I shake one cocktail and I'm like, Jesus, where's my Hamilton Beach mixer? And you just give it a little bit of a smack on the side and it pops loose. All right, and then we have some brand new vintage cocktail glasses that we're gonna use here.
NOS.
Almost, huh?
Yeah, they look pretty spiffy.
We're gonna try and keep the levels about the same.
But I weigh 50 pounds more than you.
I'm glad you remember the soda water. I always forget that in like Sidewinder's Fangs and stuff when it calls for the soda water afterwards. All right, 1 ounce of soda water in that cocktail. I'm gonna pour that in there.
Give it a stir.
So the thing with tiki cocktails is that usually the cocktail will get pretty close to being full. You'll see them do this at the Tiki Tea also. You just want to finish filling it with some ice. Part of the presentation is you want tiki cocktails to be all the way full. The way that Trader Vic's says to garnish this cocktail is similar to a 1944 Trader Vic's Mai Tai in that it's a spent lime shell and a piece of mint. So, yeah.
Spent lime shells.
Spent lime shell. All right, we'll just kind of put that in there. There you go. Don't put it in there yet. Okay, so with mint, you want to make sure to give it a little bit of a whack.
I'll whack my mint pal.
It breaks it down and releases the oils, and then you can really smell it. The reason for mint is not only because it looks great, but also because when you bring the cocktail up to your nose, you're inhaling the mint scent. The lime is there for decorative reasons.
Fills the glass up.
And then there's the cocktail.
It looks better.
So, from a multitude of years, ladies and gentlemen, this is Trader Vic's version of the Dr. Funk. Cheers.
Funk's up.
Whew, that is a taste. What is that taste?
I can't put my finger on it. It's not as hot as I thought it would be with that rum.
Yeah.
The ingredients have definitely took the edge off of that, and it's actually really nice.
It is, but there's a lot, there is a lot of funk.
There's a lot of stuff going on here.
Yeah, but
Get a big nose full of the mint, too. It makes a crazy difference.
I definitely taste the licorice, like the Pernod. The Pernod's in front, but that's the great thing about tiki cocktails is that they're so well balanced that you can taste all the layers
without getting overwhelmed.
Yeah, without getting
flavor. And I taste the grenadine, and it's not incredibly sweet either.
No. Yeah, that's why I love the whole tiki mixology thing so much. And of course, like I've said, I'm certainly not an expert at this. I just like to make the cocktails, present them to you guys, bring a buddy on and talk about stuff. And what?
He's lying. He will argue with you about drinks. Don't kid yourself.
Well, I'm not a pushover about them, but yeah.
Drink's good. First time I've ever had one.
Yeah. Would you ever order this cocktail again?
Sure, but I don't think it would be my go-to. It would be, hey, let's look for something different. Let's have that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good cocktail. I would totally do that again. You know, but I wouldn't drive to a tiki bar and sit down and order this. I would drink 5 and then go, let's have one more different one and then leave.
Yeah. 5. God, that's a lot of tiki cocktail. All right, folks, thank you so much for joining us for Spike's Breezeway Cocktail Hour. I would like to thank my good friend Mike Rouse for joining us and making the Dr. Funk. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We got more cocktails to do. We have all these cocktail recipe books from Trader Vic's, so it's going to be Trader Vic's heavy, but there are so many Dawn the Beachcomber cocktails that I love and other cocktails too that we're going to come across and try. So, hope to see you next week. Aloha.
Aloha.
The is this?
I don't know.
I've got these vines hanging in my situation now. What the hell is going on
Yeah,
here?
just move it around and see, now you're pushing it out again.
We're good there. I've known this guy for, what is all this stuff all over my, oh, it's from up there. See, this is when it starts. It's kind of the hot rum right now. That sounds so stupid.
Kowloon. I bet that was a Dr. Wong. Yeah, Kowloon's. What a great place. What terrible.
Wait, so do I.
So anyway, Matt draws stuff. He's pretty good at it. We use him. Then he drinks all our beer. Fair trade.
The doctor is in. That's so stupid. The doctor is in.
You're gonna keep that and that's so stupid? Totally.
And that. All right, folks, thank you so much for joining. Thanks, folks. Oh my God, this is it's so painful when you trip over it the first time. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Try that again.
Thanks. Okay, but you gotta come back over here.
Why?
Are you gonna drink the rest of this thing?
No.
The super Dr. Bird Pernod party that nobody wants to go to.
I'll squeeze the shit out of some lemons and lime.
Let's finish this thing.
Let's drink these weird drinks. Aloha!
There's always been like a connection with X and PeeWee Herman, which is a weird thing to me. What do you know what the thing is with that?
Exene went to junior high school with Paul Rubens in Florida.
Oh, okay.
So when she got to LA, he's one of the two people she knew in LA.
There was another stat about X that I think is really interesting. Is it's one of the only original lineups.
The longest running original lineup, and they're not the longest. They certainly are in punk rock, but there's two other bands we can come up with, and that is ZZ Top and that Los Lobos.
Really?
Yeah, Los Lobos goes back to 72.
Wow.
And those same guys have been playing together since 72, the core of.
Wow. That's insane. I mean, you know, being in a band, how hard it is to keep even just a drummer.
We never got paid, though.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, they've been really fortunate that no one has, said the wrong thing at the wrong time, or no one has met an untimely end. A lot of bands have not been that fortunate. A lot of their friends and family haven't been that fortunate.
And X is not afraid of drugs or alcohol.
Well, you said that. I didn't.
Craziest thing was, I think one of the last pool parties that you had, I was sitting there waiting in the pool, drinking my Coors Light.
Is Exene there?
And Exene's just like at the edge of the pool, like dangling her feet in the water, and I was just like, such a weird thing to me. Oh, we were talking about Billy, how Billy was a jazz guitar player, and
jazz and rockabilly, and John's poetic sensibilities and lyrics, and Exene's and DJ, playing in marching band and doing a lot of acid and listening to Captain Beefheart. And, that's, everybody has a past. That's where they came from,
Yeah, I think one of my favorite...
They're older. You have to put it in context.
Well, especially Billy.
Billy's 72. And he, Johnny Ramone was the same age.
Yeah.
The first generation is that old.
Yeah.
He graduated from high school in 1966.
Wow.
Took second place at the Palladium in the longest hair contest. Had platinum blonde hair down to his waist.
Billy Zim.
Yeah.
The guy with like the perfect rockabilly haircut.
In about, I think it was 72, the same guys that were throwing beer cans at him for having long hair had long hair, so he cut his hair off.
Ah.
He went, well, that ain't rebelling anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's the funny thing about punk rock, is it seems like it's more about conformity than it is about being your own thing anymore.
I think it is now.
Yeah.
And I feel like music as a whole isn't the cultural zeitgeist that it was. I think it ranks number 10 on cultural influencers because music doesn't have any depth and it doesn't have any effect and it doesn't say anything. I mean, that's not to say that every new artist sucks. Nothing has the reach anymore. You're not having as many kids hear the message as you did before.
Right. YouTubers have almost more of an impact now. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, well, in the hip-hop world, that's their entire deal. They don't even make records, they make YouTubes.
X just released a brand new record, the first one in, 30 years?
35.
35 years.
With the original lineup. 27 with any lineup and 35 for the original lineup.
And I have to say that you played it for me in your office at your home, and I was like, wow, this sounds really good. But then once I was able to really listen to it, my God, is that a good record. Yeah, I mean, every single song sounds like a classic X song.
Billy says it's his favorite because it sounds like the first four, but it sounds like what they were always supposed to sound like and never did.
Right.
It's produced better. It sounds better. They're playing better. It's a great representation of a great band, and I don't think there's anybody that can pull off a 35-year comeback as strong as they have.
Well, it doesn't sound contrived. It doesn't sound like they're trying to be X.
Isn't. It's who they are.
It's
who they are.
That's what, as a fan, as somebody that works for the band, that's what made me so excited when I heard that record and I went, oh my God, this is as good, if not better, than everything they've already done. And you just don't say that about bands anymore.
Mm-mm. No, you don't. And they took the process really seriously, and they really dug in and did their work. I mean, that album is a result of a year. Mm-hmm. I mean, it wasn't 2 minutes, and we enlisted Rob Schnapp, a noted producer, Beck, Elliott Smith, Toadies, Vines, a lot of different bands. Mm-hmm. And we went to Sunset Sound, which is, I mean,
legendary.
That's the Doors record. That's Van Halen. That's Led Zeppelin. That's the Rolling Stones. That's, it's crazy how many landmark records have come out of those rooms.
Yeah.
And so you couple the right studio with the right engineer and the right producer and the band delivering on their end, and it's a pretty unbeatable combination. And then we had the great fortune of being on Fat Possum Records, and them supporting us and giving us an outlet, because really it's no deeper than X never had a place to put a record. Mm-hmm. Or a reason to do a record. What? So we can not get paid for it and it could not come out and no one can hear it? What's the point?
Yeah, sure.
So, once we got out of the big boys and landed with Fat Possum, we found a nurturing situation where they were making hay with our music that hadn't been done in a long time.
I don't think people understand how important the recording studio, the producer, and the engineer are to a recording. I don't think
they're paramount. Without it, it doesn't matter who you are.
I don't think the Hula Girls ever sounded like the Hula Girls, or what I thought the Hula Girls should sound like, until Shorty started making our records.
It makes a massive difference.
It really does. And I remember Billy saying that the early recordings of X, like the landmark recordings, he goes, "Yeah, this doesn't sound like us at all."
It never did.
Yeah.
I mean, and Rob did a live record. X released a live record in 2016, X in Latin America, and it was taken from the tapes that Pearl Jam so kindly recorded for us and gave us the masters to, and then we mixed it and put it out on a Kickstarter, and Rob mixed that. And when he put those tapes out and he played it, he was just knocked out at like, oh my God, this band live is a force to be reckoned with. All I have to do is do that. Just capture their sound, and that's what they were never able to do previous.
It's funny, all the years working with you and working with X, the only two people I really know from the band, like really, are John and DJ. DJ played on the first Hula Girls record. Where
Billy fixed your guitar. He played on it.
Billy did fix one of my Gretsch guitars, but we're not like buddies. I mean, he's commented a couple things on Facebook or whatever, but and then Exene, I think we're friendly-ish, but we've never like sat down and talked, but
she was right there with her feet in the water. You could have.
It's a weird thing. John's accessible. Exene, whether she knows it or not, is kind of not standoffish, but just
she has a presence that you have to get past.
She's a rock star. Like, I really think that. I really think that Exene's a rock star.
When her and Billy walk in a room, people may or may not know who they are, but they always turn their head and go, "Who the hell are those two people?"
Yeah.
Even at their advanced stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
they can still hold a room.
Yeah, it's insane. What's your
Hey, we used to do more than that at the Dagger Bar.
Oh,
Monday nights.
I know, we had a good run there for a while.
We had a good run.
It's back when you and I were going out on the town and seeing bands. And do you have a favorite tiki bar? I mean, you've crossed the country multiple times.
I have favorite bars for different reasons.
Okay.
There's the dark bar you want to drink at and enjoy. There's the bar with the personalities. There's the bar with the ambience. There's the bar with the music. There's the bar that's just a great bar.
Do you have the versions of that for tiki bars?
Yeah, I mean, like the Kowloon that they tore down in Boston was an amazing space.
Wait, I think it's still there.
I thought they tore that down.
I don't think so. There was another bar in Boston they tore down. Saugus area, Massachusetts.
Well, okay, so the Kowloon, I happened to end up staying in a hotel right next to it, so it's a great place to go get a beer. I don't recommend the drinks. But, you know, to go get a bite to eat, Chinese restaurant. Mm-hmm. And I love the Dagger Bar, but, you know, R.I.P.
Sam's Seafood, down the Beachcomber. It's where the Hula Girls played 200-something shows, I think.
It's where the Torquays had their record release party.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
You know, what is the Tiki Bar up on Beacon Hill in San Francisco in the basement of the hotel with the boat in the middle of it?
The Tonga Room.
The Tonga Room, yeah. I've had fun in there. That's a great place after sound check. We jump in a cab and roll over there and have drinks. I also, you know...
Does the band go with you, or is it just you and...
Usually me and a crew guy.
Yeah.
The band doesn't go for high-octane drinks before the set. What is the...
you know that before you go on...
Is it Trader Vic's that's like in Bellevue, Washington, and San Francisco? Or what is that? Those are new ones.
There's a Trader Vic's in Emeryville.
No, I'm talking in Washington.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think there's a Trader Vic's in Washington.
What the heck is it? Trader
the Alibi?
Trader something? No, it's a chain tiki thing. But they're pretty good. But it's high dollar. It's like a bunch of 60-year-olds and $20 cocktails.
That sounds like a Trader Vic's thing.
Yeah, well, they have one in Belleville, Bellevue, which is where Microsoft is.
Okay.
In Washington. It's right outside of Seattle.
Yeah.
And then there's one in Seattle Chicago that's in a mall, and you have to like go through this mall for fucking hours, and then you dive into this vintage tiki bar.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you been? I was going to say about the Tonga Room. You know that Chris Isaak released...
Yeah. His video was him in the boat.
Yeah, but he released a record at the Tonga Room. What was that? It was like a Blue Hotel, or...
I'm not that versed.
Yeah, but he was out there. He was out there on the raft in the middle of the Tonga Room with a 3/4 scale guitar with his little tiki necklace he used to wear, and he was...
Billy Zoom in some of his early bands was playing with Chris Isaak and Jimmy Wilsey in the 70s. Up in the Bay Area, and they crashed their house. And Jimmy Wilsey famously, in a bunch of interviews, credits Billy Zoom with opening his eyes to how good it could be.
Wow.
And then Jimmy Wilsey became Jimmy Wilsey. I mean, unfortunately, we've lost Jimmy due to Jimmy. But but that son of a bitch was a tasteful player.
He was incredible. You know? He helped create Chris Isaak's sound.
Chris Isaak hasn't had a hit since Jimmy left.
That's the truth, though. You know, like if you took that guitar riff out of Wicked Game,
it isn't a song.
It's not a song.
Yeah,
and Chris has the most beautiful voice.
It's two chords with a little arpeggio over the end of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not two chords; it's two notes with an arpeggio over the end of it. It's just style and feel.
I know.
And Jimmy was a king of that. But you know, Billy grew up listening to that stuff live. It wasn't it wasn't foreign to him. He wasn't doing homework. His mother had Elvis singles in the house when he was 10 years old.
So that's like a thing that I've thought about, is that people aren't growing up listening to music because they don't have to. There's so many other distractions. Like it's hard for me to find time to pick up the guitar these days because I have so many other projects going on. If I were a kid right now, you can spend 4 hours on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook. You know what I mean? Kids aren't really into Facebook, I don't think, anymore. But
no.
But TikTok for sure. Dude, I joined that thing and I lost myself 2 hours of my life sitting there going, oh, that's hey.
Yeah.
Stupid. But there's something to be said about like Depression era musicians or really just kids in a shack in Mississippi learning to play the guitar and just listen to the radio. And
they didn't have a lot of choice. It's like, do you want to work a 15-hour day in the sun for no pay and no future and no chance? Or, hell, I got this guitar, I'm going to get good at it and I'm going to go do something with it. I mean, Ray Charles, he's blind. What choice did he have?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Should we make another drink?
We should make another drink, but Matt's going to tell me what's a good drink to drink.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know.